Hello, y'all. I'm Rosemarie. It's about time that I stepped out and said hello, and it's getting kind of late. As you can see, dressing up's really not my thing at this point. I've got too much stuff to do, but you did manage to get a little bit of powder and lips out of me because, well, a lady should always try to look her best with what she has on hand. So maybe a little bit noisy here in the background because we're working off the phone camera because Mr. Data couldn't figure out how to run a good microphone out here to the kitchen. So I was planning on just doing a little bit of a coffee cake for y'all, and we'll get to that in a minute, but it's past dinner time here if you time it properly. So I'm gonna show you how to do my chicken as well as that. All right, so we're just gonna get started. I'm gonna totter on. You're not going to be able to see anything off that camera because, well, we just don't have that money, I guess. So you can just listen to me ramble on. Turn this down, or Mr. Day's going to be, there's copyright issues. Now, at the moment, I'm just over at the sink opening this up, this chicken, getting it out of the bag, and rinsed off. Now I know that there's a lot of people who say that you shouldn't rinse off your chicken. But here's my thoughts on that. The thing's been sitting there in a bag, stewing in its own blood for who knows how long. I say that it could use a good rinse. At least I always have, and nobody's ever died from eating it yet. I suppose there's always a first time, though. All right, then. Let's get that pan out. Yes, well, that's your problem to sort out later on, Mr. Data. He's yelling at me for making so much noise. Yeah, oh, that's Mrs. out there. Almost said your name, sweetie. All right. Where did my rat go? Man, if he put it outside. Have to do everything. All right, so now I like to use this 10 by 13 because that little roasting rack sits real nice in there. It's just your little wire rack. Now you might be asking, why do we want to put the chicken up on that one? I'll show you. All right, so we've got Mr. Chicken here. He's all rinsed out. I suppose you'd probably be rather looking at the front than the back, so we'll turn him around. All right. There it is. And we'll need the mortar and pestle. All right, now. Spices I like to use are this, and this has just been washed out and kind of patted dry a little bit. Place it on the middle of the rack, push it forward a little bit. Now we're going to take some salt, kosher salt, not that iodized stuff. This kosher stuff is fine. That iodine stuff, it just gives it a nasty flavor. All right, now you don't want to be stingy with the salt, all right? Put it on there. That's what gives it the flavor, and that's what gives it that lovely skin that we're looking for later. Not too much, though. All right. Then we got garlic powder. Ooh. Looks like this hasn't been opened yet. Or it has, and someone just left it there, which is a little bit lazy and kind of irritates me. Probably one of the boys. All right, so garlic powder on top of the salt, and onion powder. Now this is what's going to make that nice crispy skin later on. All right. Some black pepper for a little bit of heat. And the last thing, scooch that over, is going to be rosemary. Not Rosemarie like my name, but the actual herb. Now, a lot of people get that mixed up, and it's all right with me. Because everybody thinks of the herb before they think of Marie. So we're going to take those rosemary leaves and we're going to mish them up here till it's nice and fine. Now, if you don't have one of these in your kitchen, you should get one. They're awful handy. All right, now you take and you sprinkle that rosemary all over. I did wash my hands first. I should have said that's the first thing you do. So now what you're going to want to do is go ahead and just take and just press that down a little bit. Get it into the skin. There we are. Now go. Speaking of washing your hands. Now while we're doing this, you want to put your oven on at about 400. If your chicken's thawed out, 425 if it's still a little cold inside. So we'll set that. And put the spices away. Yeah, you're right. That might not be the most... Sorry, they was just talking to me upstairs. All right, so we got the chicken out. We got it on the rack. We got it all nice and seasoned. Now we're going to grab ourselves some potatoes and a couple of onions. I'm going to put him out of view for just a moment. All right, now you want to get yourself a couple good russets is what I like to use because they're better at taking the baking process kindly. Now you want to have one potato for each person at the table, so I do 6. Because even though there's more in here, we can only have one of us eat at one time, so I don't have to make the extra portions, and that's nice. So we got 6 good-sized looking spuds. Move him out of the way. Now, I like roasted onions with the chicken. It adds a nice flavor, so you want to get yourself a nice, good, firm one. I use yellow. You can use white if you like, if you prefer that flavor. But the yellows, they give a sweeter taste. So you get 2 good-sized firm ones. We'll get rid of those. Alright, we got the cutting board. What we're going to go ahead and do is grab hold of one of these onions, cut off the top, cut off the bottom, take and go right up one side like that. Get hold of that out of there, and just peel that on back, just like that. Saves you a heck of a lot of time peeling that thing as long as you're willing to sacrifice one layer of the onion. And I'd rather do that than cry. Put away my waste bin. Where did you put it? Now that'll look for now. ahead again with the next one. Cut off the top, cut off the bottom, right up the side. Take that off. There you go. Nice and easy. All right. Now we're going to bring the bird back over here. Now what you want to do is you want to take your biggest onion and take and stick it right up his keister. Just stuff it right on up in there. He's not going to mind. He's been dead long before now anyway. Besides, chickens ain't too particular. All right. What that's going to do is it's going to add some flavor as it bakes, and it's also going to make the chicken fat that goes down, the schmaltz, it's going to make that taste all the much better. And that's why we put that up on the rack, so that all those chicken juices and all that fat melts down and comes off the bird, and that way it also keeps your skin crisp, so you get that nice that everybody likes. Now take the other one, just tuck that right there in the middle for those folks that like roasted onions. All right. Now we're going to take the spuds over to the sink, wash them off. I'll be right back. All right, now we took those and we washed them off. Patted them dry a little bit. Now you just want to take and you want to nestle them right in here alongside your chicken. These are kind of big, so you might have to move that onion. Yep. All right then. We'll just put it back down. Tuck these other two underneath there. Now what's going to happen is as this cooks, some of those chicken juices, they're going to get on those potatoes and make them taste nice. All right, so that's it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take the chicken, put it into the oven because it's all preheated now. Now you're going to want to put this in there, probably about an hour, 45 minutes if your oven's a little bit hotter. We'll check it at about 45. All right, so in it goes. Somebody forgot to take out the cast iron. That was me. We're going to put this away. All right. In she goes, and we'll come back to that. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean up this counter and get all this dinner stuff put away. And then we're going to get on to the bacon, all right? Because after all, you got a good dinner, you got to have a good dessert. Now, I believe in washing up as you go. That way you got a lot less mess to deal with at the end of the day. Because you're still going to have all those dirty dishes and whatnot from the folks eating. And your job ain't done till those are in the dishwasher clean or you washed them yourself. Because if you just leave a kitchen to chaos, you spend most of your time cleaning rather than cooking and doing all the good stuff, which is what I'm trying to get across to the others in here. But the boy's a little stubborn and a little bit lazy, like most men. Actually, I'm doing him a disservice. He's better than most, but he ain't perfect. All right then, now that we got dinner in the oven, we can turn our attention to dessert. Now, Miss Caitlin last night was kind enough to cover all these over, so we got these all nice and pristine. But, however, There ain't nobody that sits in my kitchen and watches me bake, but that doesn't have something to do. So, I'm going to have you take this and these walnuts, and you're going to sit there and you're going to grind these up for us. Alright, now it's real easy. All you got to do is take your walnuts, put them into the top of this, put the top back on, sit there, and turn the handle. That should be simple enough for anybody to do. It's what his grandma used to have him do when he was cooking and watching her. So, I'll do it for you. And this was his grandma's too, so this is the original. Y'all should feel honored. All right, now, you sit there and you grind that, and we'll come back to you at the end part. All right, now following the recipe, which the boys tell me they're going to go up and put on the screen so I don't have to read it to you, I'm going to go ahead and get our mixing bowl over here. Alright, now, they got it all measured out for me, so we're going to have 2 tablespoons of shortening. Suppose I should show you these. They're all nice and neatly laid out. Alright. So we got the 2 tablespoons of shortening, half of a cup sugar, one egg. Let me get that out of the fridge. There we are. 1 egg. 3/4 of a cup flour. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then we're also going to need a 1/4 cup milk and some vanilla. So I'll be right back with those. Alright, first thing we're going to want to do is take the shortening. And put that in there. Take the sugar. And now we're going to want to mix that together. I find it helps if you push it with the back of the spoon. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and put in the egg. You still grinding away on that? All right, good. All right. Now we got the egg and the shortening and the sugar mixed in there. Kind of looks like lemons, don't it? I guarantee it don't taste like lemon. All right. Now what we're going to want to go ahead and do, take the baking powder, put it in with the flour. Take and mix those together. And we're going to go ahead and start to add that in. Along with some of the milk. Same thing, just keep adding in the flour and the baking powder. And when it gets a little stiff, add in the milk. A half teaspoon of the vanilla. Now if you're having trouble mixing with the bowl sliding all around the counter, get yourself an oven mitt or a towel, put it down, put that on top. Help a great deal. All right. That's the batter. Now we're going to take ourselves a 9-inch cake pan. Put our batter to the side. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. Get yourself some shortening, a little bit of plastic or plastic bag, paper towel, whatever you want to use. You can do this with butter too, but this works best. Go ahead and coat the bottom and the sides. Till it's all over, nice and neat. Now then, all right, we're going to done sneak some from the other cup. Now this is flour set aside for the other part of the recipe, but I'm going to steal just a little bit of it. Now you take and you put some flour in your pan there. Now tap. Tap it all around the sides. Just like that. See that? That's what's going to guarantee that this is going to come out of the pan all nice, and it's going to have that beautiful flour texture on the bottom. You watch, you'll see. All right, so now we're going to take that, and we're going to take our batter. Now you can do it one or two ways. The recipe calls for taking half and half at this point and putting some topping and then some more topping on top of that. So it's up to you which one you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and try to do it that way, but normally I just go ahead and plop it all in and put the topping on top. But since we're doing it for y'all, we'll try to do it the fancy way. All right, we got that spread out and waiting. Now the next part we'll do in here. All right, so we're going to take half a cup brown sugar. Now, I'm not sure why, but they said that I'm supposed to take and put this on a plate before I dump it out. And then cut it with a knife. Something about it being most satisfying. Oh, well, now, yep, you see. There you go. I'm not sure why they had me do that, but there you go. Cut in half brown sugar. I think it was supposed to crumble or something. Anyway, we're going to take and we're going to put that into the bowl. All right, brown sugar. Now we're going to have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, which is this right here. mix in this flour. I'm sorry, I'm short-sighted and I don't have any glasses for this. I kind of got to lean in, you know. It's either that or bring it up to my face, but then you wouldn't be able to see me now, would you? Alright, so we're going to mix that up. Alright, now they say to use 2 tablespoons of melted fat, but you could use shortening or you could use butter. I'm going to use some margarine for this because it flows better. Now here they say 2 tablespoons of melted fat. Well, that's not going to be enough. So we're going to go with 4. You never have enough butter. Alright, while we're waiting on that, I'm going to clean up a little bit. That chicken's starting to smell. There's our melted butter. We're just going to put that right into there. And stir. I wish you could smell this right now. I bet you wish you could too. You can always make it for yourself and smell it for yourself. Get up off your chair. Get out in the kitchen. Bake something. You're supposed to be doing that right now with this virus that's going around anyway. Making sourdough bread, baking stuff like it's something new. You just rediscovering what we knew all along. All right, now that's all mixed up. Bring that back over here. Half of that. All right, who wants the bowl and the spoon? You still grinding those walnuts? Better be. I'll be right back. All right, you done with those? Let's see how you did. Well, looks pretty good. Got them all from the top. Now then, we'll just take these for the finishing touch. I told you you had the most important job. There we go. Ready for the oven. Now in this case, it's supposed to go in 350 to 375 for about 40 minutes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put it in with the chicken going because there isn't any reason that an oven can't cook a dinner and a dessert at the same time. So, in it goes. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and clean up because there's nothing but else to do but wait. we'll be back when that chicken's all nice and brown and that coffee cake's ready to come out of the oven, all right? So you just relax till then. Now, doesn't that look good? All right, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to pull those potatoes out of there and separate it out. And that's about all there is to it. I'll spare you the rest because you should know that. Thank you for watching. Well, all right, y'all. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I hope you enjoy your dinner as much as we'll enjoy ours. Maybe I'll see you again when I'll make something else for you. Until then, I'm supposed to remind y'all that you're loved, you're strong, and that you're not alone. I'm Rosemarie. It's been a pleasure, y'all. Bye now.